we have recently in our region, especially what I also see in the international media, with regard to opening of the Laçın Hankendi Road and Ağdam Hankendi Road, and it becomes a matter of the further discussions. And sometimes I also see the elements of not properly covering that situation in the international media. And therefore, I just wanted to provide you with a background, what we are talking about, and what is in a problem. And it was part of the wider discussion with the Republic of Armenia and Azerbaijan normalization peace process, especially since our Brussels meeting. But in principle, our normalization process will run in two tracks. Track number one is about a peace treaty between Armenia and Azerbaijan. And we have made a certain progress with regard to the peace treaty, and especially in Washington round of the discussions. It was a very intense discussions, but almost 70% of the peace agreement has already been agreed between the parties, Armenia and the Republic of Azerbaijan. And
70%?
70%. And you know what, peace treaty initiative was coming from Azerbaijan. And it was also not easy decision for the government of Azerbaijan, because after 30 years war and all of these atrocities and difficulties, to come up with a peace agenda is never easy. And in the meantime, Azerbaijan also proposed fundamental principles of the peace treaty as such. It also includes for itself about mutual recognition of sovereignty, territorial integrity, and some other issues. And as part of the discussions, and we also launched a second track. Second track is Azerbaijan's direct communication and contact with the Karabakh Armenians, and the reintegration model of Azerbaijan, because there is no other way except having a direct contact and ensuring reintegration of Karabakh Armenians to the political, economic, social spectrum of Azerbaijan. We are talking about 30,000-40,000 population on the ground, whom we consider Azerbaijan's citizens. But of course, what we cannot accept is a gray zone, like in Moldova, Transnistria, or yet another separatist entity in our territory, because they also have an illegal armed forces and some other element. But to ensure complementarity between two processes, and we started also the process of inviting Karabakh Armenians to Baku to sit together around the table to have discussions. And as part of that process, we also suggested them to use Ağdam Hankendi road as well, because in Ağdam we have started to build a very new road. It's in a 4-lane road with much better logistic and transport capabilities that can really have a direct, ensure direct contact with Karabakh as a mainland Azerbaijan. But what we see from Karabakh Armenian side, that's a subordinate puppet regime established and supported by Armenia. They refuse all means of communication and contacts with Azerbaijan, and they also would like to continue to ensure or maintain their status as illegal entity, and not allowed to start the process of reintegration. They say that simply whatever comes from Azerbaijan is not acceptable for us, simply we'll continue to live as we are. It means that they would like to continue the same status or same conditions that have been before the war, but in shrink geography. They're also building new line of contact, new trenches, and also putting landmines and all other military elements in that process. We don't have any problem with the average Armenian residents who live in Karabakh, but our assessment is that with the average population over there is also as they're becoming the hostage of the warlords on the ground, and who are actually used an element of crime and so on. But from Azerbaijan perspective, again, such a condition is not acceptable.